Goro.
Hey guys, James here with UFSU University, coming back at you with another deck profile. Today we're with Sam. She got 6th place at the most recent Rockford PTC. It's had 70 players. Biggest event in JASCO history for anything that wasn't a major. And it had a top 16 and she got 6th place.
Hi everybody.
Okay. Sam, how did you do during the event?
Besides
getting 6th place.
Besides getting 6th place, pretty all right, I think. It was very. I felt like it was very laid back PTC for me at least. Even though there was a bajillion people, and I surprisingly to myself and maybe even some of my teammates did better than expected. So.
What was your final record?
5-2.
What was your funnest matchup during the weekend?
I don't know that one. Maybe Tam. I would say Tam in top 8 because it was super nerve-wracking, but I was pretty okay to lose to him because he went and got top 2. So
He'd a homie.
He'd a homie.
Well, which one was your hardest matchup?
Devora. It was Devora. She terrified me because everyone was like, "Oh, she's a bug. You have 40 life. Just be careful because she might pop you. You just gotta stop her. It'll be fine." And I checked a missile launcher. It was on a 2 check for my stop, and just totally turn 1 me. So shout out to you. So. Hey everybody, so I played Goro this weekend. He is 4 for 40 vitality, and he lets me mill 4 cards to get 4 damage, and then you can also, your face down foundations count as 2 instead of 1. To start off, we're going to do attacks. So, of course, I should have done this upside down. With the missile launcher, because it's super beefy, because you can give it 4 speed or 4 damage with itself. But normally what I did is I did 4 speed with itself, and then Goro gave it 4, so it was just a big smack to the face. Sorry. And then obviously I did 3 Shokin grabs because it's a throw, and I tried to do it. It was the best at toward the end of the match, your kill turn, because your deck's already been pretty much milled out because of himself, that you could literally give it up to at least 16 damage or 15 damage, because I play 16 attacks, so it was pretty good. And then I did 1 spicy fatality because it did, I'd like to pick that up with these dark cheer toes. Is that how you say it? Mm-hmm. Because it was just an easy multiple 1 on itself. And if it was longer game, I could have already 1 momentum, so I could do the multiple 2. I didn't really use this one that much. I would pick this one up if there wasn't really much left in the deck, because it was just a good tiny little poke attack with 4 damage on it if they didn't cancel it. Plus it was a throw, so it was just kind of spicy. And it also let me pick up that extra momentum for the Dark Chirito if needed. And then the spicy Woodman's Leaf Shield, I used it more defensively than I did aggressively, because it was just a good block in my defense, with the 1 mid and then it giving it -2 to all of it. If I did use it as an attack, it was just kind of early game, and I needed it for kind of the little poking again. Coffee Samba, which is Bay in my opinion, because I love drawing cards. If it's a UFS deck that lets me draw in any way, form, shape, I absolutely love it. So I love Coffee Samba. It's the spicy one, not because we're great at this game, but because I didn't have extra. And it actually worked out the best, because it's the lowest check in the game, and I play 4 2 checks, so I was actually glad that I only had 1. But draw 2, they draw 2, stun a bunch. I normally started with that with my kill turn, do Coffee Samba into 2 missile launchers, maybe a Shokin, or 3 missile launchers, because by then I would have so many face down foundations that it was just killer. Literally. Nutcracker. Just like, again, like early game, spicy, you know, 12 damage, easy, just kind of poke at them. I could draw a card, maybe get something spicier, or just a foundation to build that I could flip later, or maybe block with, so it was just nice. And then the spicy big cyclone for, blocking, just to be against, like the Devora or whoever else I played that weekend that just did a lot of damage and speed bonuses. If I saw it, it was great. Spine sweep. I didn't really see it that much, but again, because it was a spicy one-of, it was just one of those, if it's in my discard pile and I need, like, a good high block for, like the From Hells from Scorpion, it did great. Kind of same with Disarm, because I didn't see it a lot. Again, it was just either a block or just a card to kind of pick up to be defensive or maybe poke a little. And then the only action I played was Stop, like for those characters that are just kind of annoying, like those that can potentially do 40 damage in one turn, and you're not being, like, you don't want to, not have a good block in your hand. It was really hard, though, if they did speed, but that's just because they would most of the time stun me out before I'd get a chance to block with the Stop. But that's probably because they could see me pick the Stop up, so they saw what was coming. But it was pretty good. It helped out a lot, so it was pretty alright. And then on to Foundations. Folktale Storyteller was a great card. I absolutely love this, and Goro, who wouldn't. Because even in, like, a starting hand, having two of these is amazing. Because I actually did that one game where I played one, milled the 3, played the second one, milled 3, and by then, that could be your kill turn next. You never know. It just kind of depends what you mill. Even if they don't move, I think it's amazing. Or they're just really good blocks, and then you can mill, and I just think it's really cool. And then next is Hell's Reach. I did 4 of them, because it's just, I think it's a nice little block to have, if you don't have anything else, like if you just draw into it, or you pick it up if your discard pile is a little slim, because if you build it, like, I would always commit it just to flip it, or if I ran out of options to flip, like if I had something a little bit spicier I wanted to keep, I could flip this instead. It just kind of depends, like, what you wanted to do. I know it has Breaker 1 on it, but I normally used it for, like, a build, whether it's just because I built all 4 of my hand, and I wanted to just kind of beef up on my foundations, because, 4-hander. And I used it for just kind of, like, flipping their stuff. Like, I would flip their key points in their game, like, especially in, like, game 3, where I could catch on to things that they used all the time. Like, they're super, like, what is it called? Their sample, like, their, like, main kill turn card, like, they can't pop off without that card. I would use it for that, just to kind of mess them up a little, to help me survive a little bit longer, so I can, bop them. And then this card, which was probably, like, my favorite card, favorite foundation in the deck. Shout out to, I think, Tyler, who said to put it in at the last minute. It's super cool. I didn't really use it to block with unless they forced it into my hand for whatever reason. But it was great because most of the time, super crazy, I would draw 2 or have 2 in my hand at the beginning, like my first 2 draw phases, and I could easily build 2, which turns into 4 foundations, and it was just absolutely the nuts, in my opinion. 3 overly dramatics. I didn't use it a bunch. If anything, I would play it just to use the decreasing or increasing enhance. But if I did use it, it became a face down, which was super awesome. If I didn't use it, the next turn on my turn, it would become a face down foundation. So it was pretty sweet. 2 of this guy. I didn't really, I think out of the whole tournament, I used it maybe once for sure, maybe twice, just to kind of because it's destroy, so I'm not a huge fan of destroying attacks, or I mean foundations, just because that's my personal preference, because I don't like debuilding myself. But I did only use it a couple times, because, you know, I don't want other people drawing. 4 Shokin prints, because you want to mess up their kill turn, you want to make it harder on them. I would have at least one built. Like, if I had it, I would always build it, because it would be, I build one, make it harder on them to attack, and then when it came to my turn, you know, you flip it and it makes it easier on you. So, you know, super great. Pursuing a Vendetta, I built it a couple times, but it normally became just a card to flip and pick up my 4 attacks, honestly. Like, I don't know if it was just I randomly would have one out and it became that way, or no one really did anything to provoke it, but it was still a pretty good card to have. Goro's Victory Pose, kind of the same thing. No one really played a bunch of action cards against me. And if they did, I didn't have this guy out at the time or anything along those lines. So he also became just a good, easy build to have just in case, and then turn into a flip card to pick up what I needed. Know Your Objective. I believe I used it at least once. I should have used it twice. I think it was a misplay on my behalf over the tournament. But I mean, it's still a great card because speed is really annoying, and I think that is just a great card to have. But if I didn't use it, it ended up being a flip card, like always. Police Connections, never again got a chance to use it, but I used it in the haps of turning it to pick up some orange cards that I needed. And then the last foundation, Refusing to Let Go, Spicy One Of. I used it a couple times just when needed. If not, it became a flip card in that dire need to pick up some orange cards. So that is my whole deck. So thanks for watching, guys.